Today, I'm going to show you how to consistently get smooth drone shots every single time. And unlike other videos which just talk about settings, that is only part of the problem. These 3 ways that I'm going to show you will take you from shaky footage all the way to cinematic shots, starting with
spotlight mode. So let's say we have our subject that we want to take and we want a smooth drone shot of it, and I'm going to select it with this box. Now most people, what they would do is they'll just press record and start recording, but as you can see already, the DJI Fly app has decided to recompose our shot and it's not composed properly. So I want to recenter this, and then people would continue from here, but that is also wrong because they would start moving the stick, they would hit record, and what would happen is, if you'll see on screen now, there you go, and there's your jerky footage because now it's locked in, because before it wasn't. So now that you have this pin dropped, it's locked in. So next time you want to use point of interest, select your subject first that you want to have in the center frame, compose your shot with the gimbal, and then just move your stick left or right, up or down to lock it in. And now we're locked in. All I want to do here is hit record, and now we can perform our maneuver. And now we're going to get a smooth, stable shot with our point of interest locked into the center. And if you want to add an extra layer of stability and automation, I would highly suggest using one of your customization buttons, likely C1, but obviously C2 here is taken. C1 I put as cruise control. So if I press C1, the drone is now doing the work for me. Using point of interest, flying automatically, getting me a smooth, stable shot. And the beauty of this is it isn't just side to side either. I can, for instance, do a push in, and then what we're going to do here, while we're remaining locked in, I'm just going to press record, and I'm just going to push forward. And the drone will do all the work. I don't have to do anything. Now we're going to get a smooth push in shot using point of interest and no glitches or anything like that because we're locked in.
spotlight mode is great for simple, repeatable moves, but when the environment gets more complex, there's a better option.
So the next method requires a little bit of setting up, and this is Waypoints, and it's the one that's underutilized quite a bit. So if I click the Waypoints button here on the left-hand side, and all you have to do is say, this is my start point, and this is my end point. That's all. It's as simple as that. So I'm gonna say I want my start point to be here. I'm gonna set a point of interest, and at this point of interest, I'm also gonna say, start recording. Now I'm just gonna move my drone to the next point. And let's say I want to end it around here. I like the framing of this. And then on the second point of interest, I want to make sure it says stop recording. So now we've set 2 points of interest. We click next. And now we just want to tell it a few parameters, like how fast do we want to go from point A to B? I'm just going to put here like 30 kilometers per hour. What do I want it to do at the end of the flight? I'm just going to say to hover. On signal loss, what I want to happen, return to home. That's probably the safest thing. Make sure your video settings are set at this point as well. So if we just click on the video settings, I'm just filming in auto at the moment just for the purposes of this tutorial or example. We can see everything here is good. I'm going to hit go. Now the drone will do the work. So if I select the map here and zoom out, we can see the path the drone's going to taking. And it may not look like I haven't done an orbit because it's a straight line, but if you look closely, you can see the actual drone orientation, which way it was facing. So it was facing the construction site, and at point 2, we're now facing a different direction. So the drone will naturally fly in a curved pattern. So we can see here now on the screen, it's just locking itself in, keeping everything in frame. That's why it's important when you are flying, just make sure you keep your subject in frame. So when you're doing from point A to B, it's going to get you a really smooth shot. And as you can see here, that's what it's doing. It even tells you how long it's going to complete, how many meters it's left to do. You can pause it. There you go, 30-second clip captured. And the good thing is we can even save this for future. So if you're doing repeatable missions, really handy.
I used this exact approach when filming the Toronto Distillery Winter Village. Once it's dialed in, the consistency is hard to beat. Use it for repeatable missions or even during seasons so you can make transitions from day to night or summer to winter. Once you see how much cleaner this gets, it changes how you approach flying altogether.
Needed to do a battery swap, but I should have plenty of battery juice to finish this video anyway, because I have 2 more things to show you. Oh, see, already connected. This is amazing. The third way is manual mode. And yes, I know I said earlier that it can be a little bit jerky, but there is tips that you can do to try and smooth this out. Now, before you go out and do your actual shoot or whatever you want to capture, go to an open field, and then what you need to do is hone in your settings, the way your drone flies and your gimbal settings. What I would do is I'll go out and under control, where it says gain and expo, you want to go to there first. And then for each cine, normal and sport mode, all you want to do is, for instance, fly the drone forwards and then let go of the stick. And how does it react to you letting go of the stick? Is it all of a sudden stop, or is it a smooth roll? Now, ideally in sport mode, you can leave this to default, but I like to shoot in normal most of the time because it gives me a little bit of speed, a little bit of power. Cine can be a little bit slow. But even still, I want the gimbal movement also to be slow. So while you're out testing how the drone flies, so if I yaw left, for instance, and I let go, you can see it comes to a smoother stop rather than a sudden jolt. So if I go to gain and expo, and if, for instance, I go yaw smoothness is currently at 25. If I drop this to 1, you can see if I go to, look how quick that is. It's just not smooth at all. It's really jerky, looks horrible. I'm going to put this now to 100, and you're going to see the difference now. If I go right, takes too long, too much of a roll, you might miss the shot. For me, I found this 25 was a good number. And I'll put all my settings on screen. Feel free to copy these if you wish. However, what might work for me might not work for you. This is why I say go to an open field, just fly the drone, play around with it. I'm going to do the same here with the gimbal. I'm going to rotate the gimbal down and then let go. And you can see it comes to a reasonable halt without any sudden jerky movements. If I go up as well and let go of it, nice and smooth. Whereas if I go down to tilt smoothness, this is to do with the gimbal because it says the gimbal heading, it's at 25 again. If I put this to 0, look what happens when I move the gimbal. It just stops like that, and it looks horrible. So if I put this all the way to 30, it's probably a little bit too slow when you let go of it. That's why I found 25 to be a good number, because I went and honed these in. And then it says max control speed on the tilt. It's currently at 15 seconds. I'm going to put this all the way up to 100. You're going to see it's just way too fast. Way too fast. You're going to, like, that's not good at all. And this is why I say you want to do this for each, for cine, normal, and sport. You could probably leave it at default. It's unlikely, unless you're doing high action stuff, then yes, you may want to adjust your gimbal settings a little bit, because most of the time you'd be on the sticks. But for cine and normal mode, definitely do this. And once you've honed them in, and obviously write them down so you don't forget, just in case there's an app reset. Now the beauty of this is stick control, and obviously this comes through practice. So what you want to do here is, for instance, I want to try and orbit this, and yes, we can use point of interest, but it's good to practice to get good stick control. It's very important. And I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to just position my sticks and then just hold as best as possible, hold to try and get something as smooth as possible. And this is not a bad job. It's not perfect, but the more practice you do, the better you are. And it is easier when you are further away. And I'm going to hit record again. I'm going to do the same thing again and just practice my stick control. And you just want to hold. See, this one's slightly easier, but it's further away. Slightly smooth, but you can see the speed's a little off. Maybe we're going a little bit too quickly. But I have a little tip for you that we used earlier. So what we're going to do here is use that cruise control button that we saved to C1. That's what I assigned it to, because C2 is obviously taken over when you're using point of interest to cancel the point of interest, which I don't like. I wish DJI fixed that. So we're going to do the same again. I'm going to hit record, start recording. And as I move the gimbals to try and position it, I'm going to hit C1. And now the drone has memorized my stick input, trying to orbit this. and it's doing it on its own with no incremental speed adjustments or micro adjustments on the sticks. The drone's going to do its work. I can keep an eye on the drone and I can just press cancel the cruise control and then cancel recording. And that is the third way of getting smooth shots. So if you are wanting to fly manually, once you've dialed in your settings, you can use a combination of memory in trying to practice your stick control and using cruise control as well at the same time. So if you made it this far into the video, that means you're really enjoying what you're saying, you're finding value from the 3 tips that I have shown you. So I'd really appreciate if you give it a like, because it tells me that you enjoy content like this. And then it also tells YouTube like, hey, loads of people like watching this video and they're giving it loads of likes. Let's show it to other people because they'll find value from it too. Also, if you're interested in drones, photography and gear reviews, then why don't you subscribe to the channel? I'd love to have you as part of this community. The channel is growing consistently and would love to have more of you come with your great comments and opinions that you have as well. Also, let me know in the comment section down below, which drone are you flying? Are you flying a Mini? Are you flying an Air Series? Or are you flying a Mavic? And be specific as well, like, is it a Mini 2 even? Because I made a great video on that. However, we're not done yet. Got a couple more things to show you. And by the power of editing and after lunch, I have changed my clothes. For those of you who fly FPV, don't worry, I got you too. For smooth, flowing, cinematic shots, you want to try and have as little stick movement as possible, rather than aggressive micro corrections every single time. Now, this will help as well when you're following leading lines, such as roads, paths, edges, and anything that laterally guides the eye. And if you want a out-the-box solution for stabilized footage, Rocksteady does a really good job. I use it all the time because I don't want to go home after a shoot and having to post-process everything. However, if you do prefer to stabilize your footage, then turn Rocksteady off and use gyroflow, which is free and it does a really good job. And remember, practice makes perfect. You have enough battery juice to do the laps over and over again, and with more practice, the smoother you become. Once you can fly this way consistently, smooth drone shots isn't actually a win anymore. It's just the starting point. So here's a bonus tip most people don't think about. Shoot with intention. Don't just capture generic scenery. Focus on places of interest that actually have resale value. Stadiums, landmarks, recognizable locations. And then you can sell your footage to stock sites, directly through your own website, or even YouTube. Just make sure to turn on your grid lines and remember to compose your shots properly and use the methods we talked about earlier. I've sold footage in the past just by people discovering it on YouTube, and still to this day I get email inquiries of people asking if they could license my footage. So you have no excuses to go and use the techniques that I showed you in this video to go and capture and sell some footage and hopefully pay off your drone. Clouds make drone shots so much better. But if you enjoyed today's video, then check out this one here for the best settings for the DJI Air 3S, or this one over here is what YouTube recommends. I'm now going to go home to eat, refuel, and then come back to fly the FPV drone because it's such a nice day and this is awesome.